Hey everybody, it's Kyle. I am coming to you from my car, and there's a lot of reasons why, but that's where I'm coming to you from. Let's see. I just kind of want to talk about some different things. I will tell you, um, there are some things that are bugging me, and I don't entirely mind talking about them. Um, I've talked about it so many times, though. Uh, it's almost, I don't know. I guess I'm just venting, and that's probably good for me. And you'll be able to associate with what I'm talking about, but still, um, something that's really bugging me is just how horrible it is to go out and go shopping. And, the grocery store, or really big time, would be Walmart. I mean, the biggest problem Walmart has, and I said this in the Hawks Picks podcast episode last week too, is their clientele, man. Um, it's interesting because um, I when I was in college, I actually worked at Walmart in the college town I was in part time, and it was a nice Walmart. Actually, it was the first eco Walmart there ever was. And it was pretty cool. Ed Begley Jr. actually came and cut the ribbon to open it because he's a big eco guy. And anyway, it wasn't bad working there. I mean, it was just normal people going in there shopping. But if you've been to Walmart in the last, let's say, 20 some years, you'll know it's not like that now. It is full of selfish, ridiculous assholes. And I mean, there's good people there too. There's good people that work there. But man, so much of the clientele is fucking horrible. Just really bad, not nice, unfriendly, uncaring, disrespectful turds. Whether it be the way too young parents that don't know how to take care of their children and are horrible to their children, or they could be a little bit older parents that are like that too. Um, or whether it be the person walking around with their phone on speakerphone, fucking talking out loud. Like, I don't understand that shit, dude. Get a Bluetooth headset. No one wants to be on that call with you. You know, it's not only disrespectful to everybody around you that's trying to shop, but it's disrespectful to the person you're talking to. And it's disrespectful to you yourself. You're sharing your private conversation with the entire world, you dumb fuck. It just is really horrible. And uh, I won't even get into all the blocking, the carts blocking you everywhere you go, the new deal where they're shopping for other people, those gigantic cart things with all the baskets on them, those people are fucking horrible too. It's just, they've added like 50 to 75% more traffic because people don't want to go in and shop at the store, which now when I really stop and think about it, makes sense because it kind of sucks going in and shopping in that store. Um, but don't worry, Walmart, you're not alone in this. People who shop at Costco are unruly, uncivilized assholes too. Not everybody. Some people are really nice, but uh, they're just kind of fucking ridiculous. The ones that are horrible are so horrible, it makes the whole experience suck. Whether it be their gigantic fucking pickup trucks out in the parking lot that they can't really drive very well, so it takes them, 10 times longer than anyone else to pull out of a fucking spot and get going, or whether it be inside with all these carts everywhere and people just walking along like there's no one else in the fucking world. It's just really a frustrating situation. And um, I don't know, man. I think a lot of this stuff has to do with what's been going on mostly over the last 10 years, which is, or maybe 12 years. I don't know how long it's been now, but it's a total lack of consideration for other people around you. And it's also a total uh, check that's been cashed by most of society that says you can behave however the fuck you want, wherever you go. Fuck everyone else. You know? You know where that mentality comes from, right? You're not stupid. Well, guess what? It does matter how you act out in society. It does matter how you treat other people. It does matter that you are respectful and kind to others around you. I mean, not everybody's going to be, I get that, but it still fucking matters, you know? Because when the shoe is on the other foot, oh, it's they totally expect people to be nice to them, you know? And the funny thing is, I usually am, you know? I mean, sometimes I'm not. I've look, man, I've walked down the aisles at Costco and at Walmart and at the grocery store, and people have their carts right in the middle of the fucking way, and I've just pushed their fucking cart out of the way, you know? I've had the people that are shopping for other people at Walmart grab something off the shelf right in front of me and put it in one of those baskets, and I walked over and took it right back out of that fucking basket. I mean, they grabbed it practically out of my hand, and they looked at me, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. The customer is always right. Remember that? Maybe not, because I know they're all actually contractors. They're not actually employed by Walmart. But not that the people employed by Walmart are all that great sometimes either. Not all of them. Lots of them are really good people, man, just like anything else. Uh, I give people in general the benefit of the doubt because I do believe there's good in humanity and in people. But, you know, I do understand where this prejudice of some sorts for Americans comes from. And it's from these fucking people that behave like this. That's where it comes from. It's from people who deserve to be looked down upon and called out for how shitty they are. And it's so when you hear that stuff about other countries talking about, well, Americans, you know, they kind of suck, stop and think for a second. Don't take offense to it. They don't mean all Americans, just like I don't mean all people at these stores. But in general, we do kind of fucking suck because there's so many reasons. I'm not going to get into all of it, and I'm not going to get into politics and stuff. But all you got to do is look around you and pay attention and focus up, and you'll realize why other countries, other people from all over the world think that way about us. And it's because we're presenting a horrible image to others out there. And I'm not ripping on our country, man. I love the United States of America. I'm a proud American. I'm very proud of our armed forces, and I've been around them my whole entire life. I grew up right next to an air base. I'm not air base, I'm sorry, a military base. And I have a lot of respect for people that take that on. However, who I don't have a lot of respect for are uneducated dimwits who just walk around not giving a fuck about anyone else, including their children. The way that people talk to their children in Walmart, and I'm talking about dropping F bombs, calling their kids stupid fucks and little shitheads. I've heard this, man. I thought I was at a Chiefs game for a minute. If you've not been to a Chiefs game, look, man, we used to get offered free tickets all the time to Chiefs games, but we only had to go a couple times to figure out we don't want anything to do with it. And it's not the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I love the Chiefs, you know? It's the clientele. It's the bush light drinking jackasses up in the fucking nosebleed seats, or sometimes spending all their money and not making their trailer payments. They're sitting down low. It's those people who are behaving like fucking shitheads. And seriously, dropping F bombs and stuff in front of their kids. Now, I know I'm dropping a lot of F bombs here, but this podcast is known as something that's not for kids. It's got adult content in it. And I say that, you know, when you're out in public, you can't display adult content. You pick up a Playboy or a pornographic video and play it on your phone and walk around and hold it up so everyone can see it, you're going to get arrested. You're going to get in trouble, right? So why on earth would you think you can cuss out a little kid? Or why on earth would you think that you can be at a football game and because your emotions got the best of you, even though you don't fucking play one down and you might have maybe played or known someone who played football when you were younger, uh, it doesn't give you the right to curse and act horrible and behave horribly. It doesn't give you that right. And it's gross. It's gross to watch. It's gross to listen to. It's gross to experience. Uh, like I was saying in the other show, when I have to run to Walmart, because it's really close to us. I mean, not really, really close, but I mean, it's the closest grocery store type place next to us, right? When I have to go there and I know like I had to go get sour cream last night, right? So I can go to Quick Trip and pay $6 for a thing of sour cream, or I can drive just a little bit further and pay normal prices for sour cream. I'm gonna go pay normal prices, man. It's just a few more blocks down the road. So when I'm in my car and I'm on my way there, number one, I always will drive down to this one that's miles from us because it's in better condition and better shape. The clientele's just a touch better because it's relatively new, right? It's not broken in by the assholes yet. But when I have to go to this one, like I did last night, because we're in a hurry, we need some sour cream, it's taco night. Um, on my way there, man, I start getting bummed out because I just know there's no way on earth I'm going to go on this trip and to this store and have a good experience. I just know I'm going to see somebody yanking their kid around, behaving horribly, and cussing their kid out. I just know I'm going to experience horrible service from these morons that are, you know, out there grabbing shit off the shelves for people they'll never know or see. And it's a bummer, man. I'm not going to lie about it. It's a bummer. It's sad. Um, that being said, and that tangent gone off on, I will say this too. Another thing that bugs me is when you have to go to events um, for other people, for friends and stuff, and you don't want anything to do with going to that event because the other people that are going to be there are horrible. That sucks, man. Not. I don't have to do it all the time, but I've had to go. I've had to go to a friend of a friend's birthday party, and I just know that some of those other extended friends are horrifying, and they're going to get drunk, they're going to get loudmouth, they're going to do dumb shit. Back when I was in college or a little bit older, I remember there was a dude who would take his pants and underwear off and just walk around with his shoes and socks and a shirt, basically Porky Pig in it, or Donald Duck in it. No pants, just a top. Uh, I mean, what the fuck, right? it's that's asinine behavior, and it's upsetting. It's uncomfortable for everyone. Why would you do that? To get attention? It's just really bizarre, and I can't stand it, man. And uh, I have no desire to go to an event and spend my time around people that are just not nice and not friendly and not caring of others and not respectful to others. I can't. I just can't do that stuff. And we've all been stuck doing that. I've had to go do those things recently, and I've got things coming up I'll have to do. And there's no way out of it really. I mean, unless I want to be the asshole, I guess. But I hate that feeling, man. Don't you? Don't you hate feeling like you're trapped into a scenario like that? Don't you? I mean, is there anyone out there really that, is like, oh man, I get to go to Walmart to shop? Yes. I don't think so. I don't think so. We all go there because shit's cheaper, right? I mean, Target, the same damn things are, you know, 10 to 15% higher, the same exact stuff. And Target's a weird ass store too, man. Target, it feels like it's a store that's created by aliens or from another planet that are trying to pretend to be human. And they're just putting stuff out there and having the store look like how they think we would want it to be. That's what it feels like. It feels like a poser created store. It really does. And I mean, I don't like it either. I'd rather go to fucking Walmart if you can believe it. Sorry, I'm parking the car. I'd rather go to Walmart. Okay, enough ranting and raving about this shit. There's a lot of good things going on in my life too. I did have another big bummer where the Plex server died, and so while I'm out driving because I'm picking up a Mac Mini, and I was gonna just try and find something used. I was gonna buy one of the trash can Mac Pros because I see them for sale on eBay and even locally on Facebook Marketplace and stuff for really cheap, especially on eBay. You can get one for about 150 bucks. And dude, those are like I want to say all of those are at least 6 core, and I don't even know how many threads or if they do hyper threading, but they all have a good amount of memory and they all have an SSD at the heart of them. Um, but they all also don't they don't allow you to install the latest versions of the operating system. So you're already buying something that's, you know, gosh, 12 or more years behind, right? Um, the current processors and the current systems. So I just, I was talking to my wife about it. And she's like, well, okay. So I had this little desktop Windows, one of those tiny little computers. It's about the size of a Mac Mini that sits at your desk. And it's a Lenovo, I think. It's one of those ones you'll see in offices and stuff. But I bought that thing for about 70 bucks, fast enough processor, 16 gigs of RAM, has an SSD built into it. Not built into it, but installed in it, plenty of ports on it. And my Plex system ran great for about not even a year. And then it just farted out, man, just started doing funky things. The biggest was the drive that I had connected to it that had all my media on it started flipping out and not working right and would just disconnect on its own, even though it was a solid USB 3 connection. So I actually was able to get everything off that drive, and I bought an old Otherworld Computing RAID, an external RAID drive. So I put two drives in there that were 2 terabytes each. And then I did a RAID 0 deal because you do that for speed, right? If you want it to move fast. And RAID 0, you know, it stripes across both drives. So both drives work together as one, but it's fast because the data goes from one across over to the other one across and then back across that one and then over to the other one. It goes like that. And just data just moves faster. Um, so I had it set up that way and it worked for a long time. And then that died. So I said, well, maybe it's just the drives. The drives weren't that great. I had them around when I made it, bought them really cheap. So I bought two 4 terabyte drives because I needed more room anyway. I was kind of running out of room and I was thinking, well, you might as well go a little bit bigger. So that gives me 8 terabytes of space. So I figured out, yeah, hey, man, I had enough space to uh, put stuff on there to my heart's content. I've actually got my whole music library on it, CDs and stuff that I've ripped. And then I have a bunch of DVDs and stuff that I've ripped, TV shows and movies, and I ripped them over to the computer. And it worked okay for a while. And then all of a sudden, I want to say a week, all of a sudden, that Windows computer, Windows 11, claimed that that drive was corrupt. And I had transported everything over there too, about 4 terabytes of stuff almost, and or at least 3.5. And it claimed everything was corrupt on there, so it had to be reformatted. And then I was like, "What in the fuck?" I've never seen anything like that in my life, right? So long story short, it's a bummer. I don't think I'll be able to get all those things back. So I'm gonna have to redo all that work to rip those things and put them on there again. Um, But I was talking with my wife about it, and I was thinking of buying it and going, kind of shooting low, buying a lower end system again, that's older and used because it's fast enough usually to run Plex. And she goes, I mean, are you sure you want to do that? Why don't you just buy a new Mac Mini? And I'm like, man, they're like $500, babe. She goes, do it. Do it. Save yourself this headache. And she's right, man. So I've ordered an M4 processor Mac Mini, 16 gigs of RAM in it, just a little 256 gig SSD or NVMe or whatever, the little internal SSDs, and plenty fucking fast for anything. And then I ordered a little dock that it sits on top of, helps keep it cool, and that has a plug-in into it. And then one of the USB-C or Thunderbolt plugs on the back goes out to all kinds of things, all regular USB ports, Thunderbolt ports, a card reader, just all kinds of things. Plenty of ports for everything. So, and I got the mini for about $50 off too at Micro Center. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm picking up. I know you're like, who cares, man? I'm gonna run in and get this thing, and when I come out, I'll talk about what I'm into right now, man. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll be right back. All right, and we are back. So, what am I into right now? What have I been watching, listening to, reading, all that jazz? Well, I have been listening to lately. You'll see a bunch of spins in the photos, the little video things that I do and put up on TikTok and Facebook and all that stuff, Insta. So there's that. I can tell you, we did order up some Christmas gift records for me today. One of them is Danzig 777 I Luciferi. Yeah, Lucifer is who he's talking about. But, I would love to get the first Danzig album and then Danzig 2 Lucifuge and maybe even 3, which is How the Gods Kill. I love that one too. But nobody's got those for sale, even though those have been reprinted and reissued. No one has them anywhere because every time they release, 5,000 of them, they get snatched up quickly. And a lot of places that they're released to are restricting people to just buying one at a time of each one. So can't really do that. Can't seem to find them. Can't come across them anywhere. But that's okay. I mean, it'll settle down and you'll be able to get one at some point in the near future. And I'll just kind of wait it out. I really love Danzig 2 Lucifuge is one of my favorite records of that time. And as far as post Misfits things, thanks, dude. I didn't want to go right there, man. Just go ahead. I know you're in a big hurry. Ridiculous, man. But I would love to. I'd love to be able to get one of those, but again, they're just kind of hard to come across. So I was looking at. They did have a lot of the 666 album, which is Satan's Child. And these are albums, by the way, I haven't really listened to. Really past How the Gods Kill, I didn't listen to much after that. Maybe the 4th album, I'm trying to remember what that is. I can't even remember. I don't remember. But maybe the 4th album some. But then I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit. It seemed like the stuff he was creating wasn't really something I was too interested in. So I just kind of moved on past it. But those first 3 albums I definitely dig, especially the second one. The second one, I know pretty much the whole album by heart. I listened to it so many times. I got it on CD, and I got the first Danzig album on CD, and I got How the Gods Kill, I think I have on cassette, which is weird. I may have it on CD too. I don't remember.
Lucifuge, I do not. I do love that one, and I would love to have it on vinyl. So, but anyway, you can't get it. And so, unless you want to spend a shitload of money. But you can get these last couple. And from what I understand, Luciferi, they said he ended with a bang because he did this 7-album series, basically. He's done other stuff outside of it. He did a couple arias that I know it's kind of weird, but he did do a couple arias, just entirely instrumental. Beautiful music, really, very dark, but of course, it's Danzig. But, I'm not too interested in those. He did another one called Skeletons. I know he's got a woman on the cover there with him. He's really fond of giant-breasted women. I can definitely tell you that. I know most guys are, right? But I don't mean that in a sexist way, ladies. I'm just telling you that's the talk about Mantown. Men in general, males. There's a fascination there. But anyway, and then he did an Elvis album where he sings Elvis songs, which is kind of obvious for his voice too. But kind of looking at those first 7 albums, after you get past those first 3 or 4, and I do have 4 somewhere. I can remember the cover. I just can't remember the name of it. It's not as memorable as those first 3. Anyway, this I Luciferi album, I saw the reviews and stuff on it. It's actually his highest reviewed record since Lucifuge. And so I kind of listened to it today some, and I was like, damn, this is pretty good. And I went out and took a look, and I got a coupon actually sent to me from Deep Discount. It's an online store if you haven't been there. Basically everything media-wise and even some collectible stuff, they have at usually lower prices than you can find. You usually do have to pay for shipping. It's not like an Amazon thing, but if you buy so much, you spend so much, the shipping's free for standard ground shipping. So I found I Luciferi, and by the time you take the percentage off and everything, yeah, it brought it down to like $17 or something. And so I'm pretty excited about that one. That'll be cool to listen to. And then I kind of looked up some other records too by other groups. For the Cure, I would love to have a Cure. I do have one Cure record, 17 Seconds. It's good. But I'd really love to have Standing on the Beach, the singles. Now, I have it on CD, and I listen to it still quite a bit. It's great. And I have the original version, yes. The very first song on it is called Killing an Arab. Kind of a controversial song. They don't perform it anymore because, nobody can sing about anything that's negative towards someone else or disrespectful. And I get that to a certain extent. That's not really what the song is not really about, killing an Arab, I don't think. There's more to it than that. I can't imagine anyone would believe, if they're a Cure fan, that's what they're telling people to do, or saying they did. But they've taken that off that. So I don't know if they're going to release any new versions. I don't even think it's available on Spotify, that song on there anyway. But I have the original version that has it. I'd love to find the LP set of that collection. So it's all the Standing on the Beach, the singles. It goes from the very beginning of their career up through, it doesn't have like, that Lullaby album, I think, and then Disintegration's not on there. That's another album I wouldn't mind having by them. That's a really good record. And they've put some records out in the last few years too. I wouldn't mind listening to those, but couldn't find anything on there. I know, all that talk, Kyle, and you ain't telling us shit. But I started thinking about other groups that I like that are kind of, a little bit that new wave sound that we had back in the 80s and somewhat in the 90s. And I thought of New Order. And so I went and looked at New Order records, and I've already got a few New Order records. Substance is a big one. I have the New Order kind of a greatest hits compilation from the beginning of their career up to a certain point. And then I have the Joy Division / New Order record where it goes from Joy Division into New Order's early days. So I'm a New Order fan. Well, there's a couple I don't have, and so I ended up ordering one. I'm trying to even remember the title of it. I'm going to look it up real quick. I'm sitting here at a standstill. Let's see. It is... here we go. I Luciferi. Oh, Low Life. That's which one it is. Low Life. Good album too, man. A really good one. Yeah. Oh yeah. So that Danzig album was like $16, something like that. By the time you take that discount off. Really, I got like about $7, I think, off of both records together. But anyway, Low Life's a really good record. I'm excited to listen to that one too. And so I just said to my wife, hey, I wasn't really worried about anything for Christmas or whatever, but I know the kids like to give me something. She likes to give me something. I said, did you want me just to order these and you guys can give them to me, or do you want to go order them? Here's my username and password. And she said, just order them. So I did. So I'm excited to get those in. Another big thing happens actually Friday, which I think is the 21st of November. The new De La Soul album drops. I didn't even know they had another one coming. This is obviously one without one of their members who passed away. But it's a huge record. I mean, a lot of songs on it, a lot of playtime on it. And there's a lot of different people that are on it too. Most notably to me, and I told Mikey earlier when he was asking me, just to kind of cut it short, what about this album? And I said, Slick Rick, dude, Slick Rick. There's some music on there with Slick Rick. That's awesome, dude. You got me right there. I'm ready to get it. So I'll be listening to that a lot. Now the album doesn't come out until like January because it takes a while to print all that stuff. And they did kind of announce this quickly. Like I say, I didn't know anything about it until like last week. And I listened to the one single they released. It's really good. It's on Spotify right now. But the whole album will be on there shortly. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That's going to be a big one. I've been listening to a lot of Cult. Been listening to those albums after I was the biggest fan of them. But another cool thing that's gone on, and this has to do with watching also, but mostly it's because of music. My wife and I have been watching kind of concert segments and music videos from bands like that. So I think it started with The Cure. We started this last night, and Pictures of You was one of them from a live concert not that long ago, maybe like in the last couple years. And she's like, wow, he looks pretty rough. He does. Robert looks a little bit old and beat up, but he's always kind of looked like hell. That's kind of the look that he's gone for with the makeup and the eye stuff and the lipstick. I don't remember him not really looking like that. He just looks like that now, but he's older. Anyway, we started watching that, and then that led to there was a couple Billy Idol music videos and performances, and we watched some of that, and then we watched that grew into Radiohead, and so I watched the first ever appearance on the Conan O'Brien show, which was the very first Conan O'Brien show, by the way, way back in the day, and they were on there singing Creep. Doing Creep, and it was amazing. And then they actually came back for the album The Bends and did Fake Plastic Trees, and it was amazing too. And when we were watching that, I said, yeah, have you ever seen The Cure, or I'm sorry, have you ever seen Radiohead perform? And she's like, no. And I go, you gotta see this. And I showed her those two. Creep obviously is very early, it's the first album, but by Fake Plastic Trees, by the Bends album, the second album, they started kind of finding their way. It felt like to me. And then when you hear Paranoid Android after that, or I'm sorry, OK Computer after that, you're like, what? Where? Whoa. I didn't know they were going to go this far into this, but I love it. It's one of the biggest albums, I think, of my time. And when we were watching these videos and stuff last night, she was just in awe of his singing, Thom Yorke's singing, and his performance, and the band too. And it was really cool to see her see that. And I just told her, to me, they're a band that's there with Pink Floyd. They're a band that is important to music as Pink Floyd was. Or, because they won't be back together. I know they still push shit out occasionally, but it's not really them. But they're that important, and I know some people aren't big Beatles fans, but the Beatles are important too, man, and they're important for a reason. Or the Rolling Stones, same thing. There's bands like that are crucial to the history of music, and my popular rock music anyway. And so, yeah, watching that was pretty amazing. There was also a Seven Nation Army performance by the White Stripes that was on a Conan O'Brien show too, when he had been around a little bit longer, I think. But that one was really cool too, pretty awesome. Dude, Jack White, come on, that guy is like miles above most people musically. He's a very talented guy. I've got a couple of his solo albums that he's put out in the last few years, and it's just next level stuff, man. Next level music. So I enjoy listening to them as well, and we enjoyed listening to that last night and enjoying it. It was pretty cool. And then after that, I showed her the music video for Paranoid Android. For Paranoid Android off OK Computer. And I said, this was the first thing I heard or saw from that third album. And when I saw it and heard it, I was like, what is this? And so I showed her the music video, and she's like, holy shit, that is batshit crazy. It's amazing, but it's insane. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's also comprised of about 3 or 4 songs minimum, maybe 5. It's just, that album is a masterpiece. OK Computer, I mean, to me it's up there with, to me, Animals was a big one for me from Pink Floyd. That's my favorite Pink Floyd album, but I think it's there with Dark Side of the Moon too. I think that it's important like that. Music was a little bit different after that album. It's kind of like movies, and I'll slide right into what I've been watching. Movies changed after Pulp Fiction, period. Whether you like Pulp Fiction or Quentin Tarantino or not, movies were different after that movie, Movies were different after Jaws, right? It's a big change. So I feel like same thing with what I'm talking about here, and I would include Revolver in that. I think Revolver was a big Beatles album where they really went, ran around the bases backwards, and everybody's expecting just another home run. I think that's a big one. And Rolling Stones, I don't know. I mean, they got a lot. They kind of swerved a lot. But they always were pretty amazing, and somehow, amazingly, the Rolling Stones just really were able to key in on and capture rhythm and blues, man. And it's astounding how in touch with that they are. I don't know if they're going to make another album or not. I've kind of heard rumblings of that. I bought their last one, the Jules one or whatever, and I bought a special edition of it that had the Kansas City Royals cover. They had an offer to do that at one time. But it's really a great album, man. They sound great on it. I've heard they're going to come out with another album. And if they do, man, I mean, we got to go see them, period. We got to go. I know it'll be outrageous. It'll be a fortune. But my wife and I have come to realize, that was a mistake not going to see them last time. They played at this big concert venue down by Lake of the Ozarks and stuff, and it's an outdoor concert venue, and we didn't go. I mean, we kind of got in on it a little late, too, trying to find tickets, but next time, that's not going to happen, man. We'll be paying attention, and we'll nab some of those tickets for sure. And I know they'll be outrageous, but damn it, dude. That'll be your last chance to see the Rolling Stones, right? I think the same with Billy Idol. We'll go see Billy Idol. She's never seen him. I've seen him 3, maybe 4 times, kind of like the Cult. We'll go see the Cult, too. She's been very happy with the concerts that we've been to recently that are of my choosing, which would be the Jeff Tate Operation Mindcrime tour that he just did. She enjoyed that. We had a great time. Met some buddies from high school there too, and they had a blast. And then Zebra. She really enjoyed the Zebra show when we went to see them and just outside of St. Louis. So, yeah, kind of got her loving some of that music, man, which is exciting. What have we been watching? Well, obviously those videos that I'm talking about. But, what else have I been watching? Been trying to watch older horror films that are kind of 80s and maybe even some from the 70s that are kind of bizarre and strange. I started watching this guy, AVA Pop Culture. He's on YouTube. And he goes through these lists that he creates. He's a filmmaker. He's made some movies. But he goes through a list of different films, like the scariest films of all time, or the most 80s movies of all time, or the greatest science fiction films of the 80s, that kind of stuff. He grew up at the same time I did, so he loves that stuff. But anyway, he's turned me on to some of these, and I've been starting to watch them. One of which I can think of is called Evil Speak. All one word, EVILSPEAK. It actually stars Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother. And it's pretty wild about a kid who was actually, his parents died in a car wreck, and he was given the opportunity to go to this military school, and everybody there pretty much treats him like shit. But he finds some solace in finding this basically it's a satanic Bible of some sort, and he awakens some evil spirits and blah, blah, blah. I didn't get all that far. I saw him reading the book and stuff like that. I probably got about 30 to 40 minutes into it. I want to see the rest of it. I don't know how I'm gonna, because my fucking server died. But I'll have to find it again. I've got it somewhere and just rip it and watch it again. Yeah. I've got so many DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4K Blu-rays that I've never watched. And I've decided, hey man, I'm just going to rip these things and put them on this drive and have a server out of here, Why not? I mean, obviously I love these films, and not everyone else has seen them. I share it with my buddy PP too. He logs on there, and I know Mikey's got on there before and watched some. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. And I'm not going to say I don't BitTorrent anything. I'm not going to say that's never happened. But yeah, so I had quite a collection. I think it was like 446 movies, TV episodes and stuff. I had like, I don't even know, man, over 1,000, I believe. And then music, I don't even know how many songs were on there. A shit ton of them, man. All lost. So, I mean, I own that music. I can download it again and all that stuff. It's just going to take a lot of time. So, I just kind of got to decide what it is I want to do and move forward with it. The good news is, buying this new Mac Mini, I'll have Apple TV Plus for a while. I think 6 months. So, be able to continue on the Pluribus train, because if you haven't watched Pluribus, man, you need to. It's amazing. Apple's really kind of hit it out on the park on this deal, on their streaming platform. Started with the big one I recall it starting with is Ted Lasso, and dude, people were crazy over that. I mean, when that next season comes out, which I don't know if it's the last season or not. But when that comes out, dude, people are going to lose their minds watching that. And then they had Severance. Severance is huge. A huge show. Just 2 seasons of it so far, but I mean, it's a big deal. So when they released this Pluribus show, which is Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad, it's his latest show. My wife and I thought we'd check it out. And so we watched the first episode and we were like, whoa, what is this? It is really an odd but captivating show. We watched the second episode and it was even more that way. We haven't watched a third episode yet, and I know the fourth is coming, but I highly recommend that. It's somewhat science fiction, but it's more along the lines of like Contagion or Outbreak, right? Because long story short, there's some sort of signal from outer space, and what that signal does is it actually teaches us how to create something that could be detrimental to the world. It's a way of introducing these aliens into our society, a very violent, horrifying way. But it's amazing, man. It's not a zombie picture. It's not our show. It's not. I swear, it's different than that. It's more heady, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to watching that one further. It's very, very interesting. Other than that, I mean, those are really the big ones I've been watching. Boy, this is going to be a long episode. What have I been reading? I mean, not much. I did purchase that book I talked to you guys about, that strange, basically cosmic horror book that was written in 1908. I think I told you guys I did really like Frankenstein. I think they did a really good job on that. There's some parts of it that, but still, it's still a really, really good telling of that story on film or on digital video, I guess. Nobody really shoots much film anymore. Guillermo del Toro might. He's the kind of guy that would. I know Spielberg still does, and there's some people who still prefer film. Thank goodness. Anyway, so yeah, definitely enjoying Pluribus. Highly recommend it. Other than that, not much. Reading, yeah, like I said, not much there. Do have that book. Have read some of the comics I've been into, but not much. Nothing really of note, in my opinion. Gaming, same old, man. I did have to find a new solitaire game. I told you guys about that, and the cool thing is you are able to pay to get rid of ads, so I don't have to mess with the ads, which is awesome. And the other cool thing about gaming that I do know is that Netflix just added a gaming component to their service. So if you're a high-end Netflix owner, you do the 4K streaming program with no commercials like we do. It's expensive, but if I'm going to watch something on their streaming, I'm going to watch it in 4K if I can. Anyway, Netflix has a gaming component. Now, they've had somewhat of a gaming component. You could download apps of games and stuff they were making onto your Android device. And I believe probably iPhone too. I don't know how Apple worked with that, but on Android you can, and I have downloaded a few games from them that I played quite a bit that I loved, and that Netflix Solitaire one was one of them until they fucked it up. But they now are introducing a thing where you can play games on your television by using your phone. You can do games all together. There's like a Boggle one that came out where you can play Boggle, and everybody logs in on their phone and it gives you the code on the screen, and you can play along. You could do that with. There's some others. What was it called? Jack Games. I can't remember. we used to play those with the kids, and they really loved it. We're going to play that. You Don't Know Jack. We're going to play some of that stuff over the holidays too, because the kids have kind of been asking about it and want to play it. But anyway, they have a gaming component now, and one of the first ones they're going to have on there, a big title, is Red Dead Redemption. You'll be able to play on your TV and on your phone. That's pretty crazy, because that's a big game, man. They've got a Grand Theft Auto one on there already, and they get all kinds. But there's going to be a lot of them that you can play right on your television using your phone as kind of a controller or an entry point, if you got to answer questions. That's what I'm excited about, is the You Don't Know Jack type of stuff. Now, I had looked into that Infinity table. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but it's made by Arcade 1-Up, but it's a 32-inch touchscreen table, and you can play, there are board games on it, but they're all digital, right? So some of the games, like it comes with Monopoly, it comes with Scrabble, and you can buy some other ones too that are more advanced. Risk, I saw in there. But it comes with quite a few games, and then you can add on. Some of them are for purchase, but it's pretty cool and everything, but $1,000. I mean, what the fuck, guys? I know it's expensive to make that device, and I get it, but $1,000, dude. That's a lot. Now, they have a smaller one that's like 20-some inches, but who the hell wants that? And it's still like $600. So, I don't know. That thing's got to come down in price seriously before people take it serious at all. Because, shit, you can buy a lot of board games for $1,000. A lot of vintage ones, high-end. So you can buy one of those all wooden gold tile Scrabble sets and then some with that sort of deal. So that's a lot to ask, but yeah, some cool things coming out. Like I said, man, that Netflix thing, that's huge. Very excited about that. And then I know that Amazon Prime also has a new version of their gaming platform and stuff that's coming. Steam, who does the Steam Deck, they have a new box, a TV box coming with a new controller and everything. They did it a long time ago. The Steam Deck, I think it was called. But they've got a new gaming system coming that's also going to be, it's pretty cool looking. I don't know. People are always down on anything that comes out. I usually don't listen to that. I kind of take it all in and make my own judgments. And you can't make a lot of judgments without playing with something or testing something out. So I don't judge too much. But, yeah, that's it on gaming. Podcast, yeah. There is some new podcast. I think I told you about it. I'm not even going to bring it up. But, yeah, it's still about the same stuff, though. Mostly the same stuff I've been listening to. Hey, guys, I know this is a long episode. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through it. I picked up the new Mac Mini, and boy, my goodness, they sure have made them smaller. I am floored at how small this thing is. That's cool. It reminds me of the Apple TV. It's that small. Maybe a little bit bigger, but yeah, definitely heavier. But wow, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, and the dock I ordered for it, that comes with all those ports and everything I was talking about, it also has an NVMe drive bay in it. So I have an external drive that I've had for a while. I don't use very much. I'm going to put it in there so I can use that too for editing and stuff, It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting it set up and getting it started, ripping stuff and putting stuff on the server again, getting that RAID working with it. I'll probably have to reformat that RAID. Apple tends to work a little easier with RAID, in my opinion, than Windows. Even to get that RAID to work originally with Windows was a hassle. So much so that I had to hook it up to my MacBook Pro and set the drive up that way in exFAT format, and then connect it over to the Windows box before it finally was able to see it and recognize it as a drive. That's nuts. So my understanding is on Windows, really, you really need to use a software of some sort to run a RAID on Windows effectively. And I just wasn't willing to spend $100 or more on some software when, in my opinion, I'm just say it right now, Mac operating system and Mac hardware is superior by far. And on the phones, I totally disagree with that. And tablets, I disagree with that. It used to be, they still make really nice hardware for phones and for tablets. But I can tell you right now, my Galaxy 6 Fold blows any iPhone, and Android operating system blows any iOS device away. So I don't think that it's still the best in that department. Also, even my Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, which is 4 generations old now, is superior to iPads that I've seen. Now, I haven't messed with iPads a lot since they can start using external drives and they're USB-C, but still, I think you'd be hard-pressed to do that. I mean, so much so that I'm still using my Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, right? So, and I have zero intentions of going back to iOS, in my opinion. So I love Apple products for computers. Their Macs, I think, are better hardware. Their operating system is far superior, far more easy to network. I always kind of laughed at the IT departments wherever I worked because they would be like, "Oh, you got a Mac?" They would say that, and I go, "Yeah, what's wrong? Do you hate your job being easier?" Because it's so much easier to network Macs. You plug them in and basically you're on the network. You might have to put in a couple things, but not much. On Windows, you got to jump through fucking hoops to get it networked properly, especially at a corporation or something. It's not that way with Mac OS, man. It's a superior product. That's why they cost more. Okay? Because, I have an iMac downstairs that's 26 years old that still works. That's all you got to know. That's all you got to know. I've got a Mac Pro that I bought that's 16 years old that runs fine. It's not powerful enough for what I'm needing for this server, and I don't want to run it off my MacBook Pro, for obvious reasons. It'll burn it out. But I'll go buy a Mac Mini for $450 and run this sucker better than it's ever run in its life. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to getting it running, getting it all set up, and just off to the races, man. That's all I got, guys. I appreciate you guys listening. Keep on keeping on. I do realize this is an extra long episode. I have a tendency to talk a lot when I'm driving. And when I'm going off on shit. The whole thing I talked about at the top there, I know. It sounds like I'm really angry, and I'm not. It's a little frustrating, the situation, but look, man, I can bitch about all I want. I'm still going to go to the stores, I will. So I guess I should just grin and bear it, man. It's just still shocking to me how people are. I will not go to Chiefs football game anymore. It's not because I don't like the Chiefs. It's just because the people there are horrible people. Not everybody, but there's a good contingent that is. It's like, I always heard how nasty it was with the Oakland Raiders, the Los Angeles Raiders, and I believe it, but I can't imagine Camaro Heads fans are much far behind that. I can't imagine it. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening again. I'll get back to you guys in a couple weeks. Be sure and listen to the Hawk Picks podcast. That's a good one, too. And I will catch up with you real soon. Still trying to get everything put down as far as some seating and stuff for our yard. So do me a favor if you're around. Get off my lawn.